Hey guys, my name's Bradley and this is the Carter Wilson Workshop. So basically I've done a couple of power carving videos, a bowl and kind of an art piece, I guess, that's similar to something I made for my wedding. And I just wanted to go over all the different wheels and tools I've tried in learning and experimenting with power carving. So in the next 3 videos, I'm going to show you a few different categories, kind of how I categorize them. And yeah, I hope you stick around. I hope you learn something. I hope it's helpful. And if you have any questions, be sure to let me know and I'm happy to help. All right, guys, now we're going to go into what I call abrasive wheels, which I kind of have classified them that way myself. It's not official or anything as far as I know. But these wheels scratch the material away instead of using blades like the cutting wheels to cut material away. So first up, we have the Holey Galahad here by King Arthur's Tools. I have 2 examples of these to show you different things that they offer, but this guy is the first one. This is my favorite, and this is, I think, what they call a medium coarseness, because they have different grit levels, just kind of like sandpaper. And this one is the flat profile, because they have 2 profiles. One's round, one's flat. Now you see here, it's a little flatter compared to the one I'll show you in just a minute. They call it Holey Galahad compared to their older one, which was just the Galahad, because it has holes in it. They say that's to allow you to see your work while you're carving, and it does let you see through it to a degree. Personally, I haven't really needed that feature, so, you know, take that for what it is. It also probably helps material escape a little bit. But basically, I really like this particular wheel. It's nice because the flat profile helped on some of the convex shapes that I was making. And I also really like that it has grit along the edge here. It has carving tips along the edge here. That was really good for scoring in and getting details and stuff like that. So of this particular class of wheels, this was one of my favorites. Now, another example of a Holey Galahad by King Arthur's Tools is this guy here. So same series, but this is a finer grit, where that red one I think they call medium. This one is a fine. And you can see the little points and everything are a lot smaller. This one also, you can notice, is their round profile compared to the red one, which is more flat profile. Now these are good for different things. This one is good for the inside of bowls and concave shapes. The flat one is good for maybe the outside of bowls and more convex shapes. This particular one, I haven't really used a whole lot. It just, you know, for the type of projects I was working on, it just really wasn't my favorite, and I just didn't really need it too much, but I'm glad I tried it. I got them both at the same time, not knowing what I'd need, and it's good to play around with and see what's going on there. And I'll show you the differences in how they cut. So here's the flat wheel, that red one. This one is good because I could score it in like I did in my first power carving video, and this is just a score by itself, and then I can kind of shape it down either with the wheel or with a sander, which is what I did in that particular video. But I like this one because it's not too aggressive and it still removes a good chunk of material. It's also nice because you can use it to do some hollowing like this. It's not as perfectly round as the round one's gonna be. You see here it's more flat because of how I was carving, but you can still get a lot done with this because of the grit on the edge and all that kind of stuff. So if I had to pick one, you know, I'd probably pick that one. I really like that one. So compare that to the one that is round. You see, you can't really get any detail or do any scoring. Here it's just turned right on edge like this, and you can see that that's quite a wide line, but given its profile, that's not really surprising. Here I did the same thing. I scored here and then tried to tip it over and cut material away. It's good if that's the shape you're looking for. It's just not the shape that I'm commonly looking for. And again, here you can also use it to hollow out shapes and bowls and things like that. This particular grit being fine takes a while to remove material, but if you used a rougher wheel like the chainsaw carver or something else and you want to go back with this wheel and this particular grit to smooth that out, that's also an option. So those are 2 different examples of the Holey Galahad by King Arthur's Tools. Now this next one I didn't find till really the end of my search for power carving tools after I'd picked up all these other more expensive ones, but this one is interesting, so I feel compelled to show you. This guy is a carving disc that I got at Harbor Freight for 10 bucks, you know, versus the Holey Galahads, which cost about 60 to 75 bucks depending on where you get them. This guy I got at Harbor Freight for 10 bucks. and it has little carbide chips all around it. And now it is a lot more coarse than either of the two Holey Galahad wheels, so that's something to keep in mind. But for 10 bucks, if you're just trying to see if you like power carving or if you have one project to do and don't want to spend a lot of money, this guy might be a good option for you. Had I found this in the beginning, I don't know that I would have gone quite so deep down the rabbit hole. Yeah, it's interesting. It removes a lot of wood. You can use it kind of for scoring, but compared to the Holey Galahad, it doesn't actually have cutting grit on the edge here, so that's something to keep in mind. And it has more of a flat profile, but you still can use it for a lot of things. And like I said, had I found it earlier on, I might have just stopped here because it's good enough, you know, and you don't need to spend a crap load of money if you're just trying to do one project or just trying to see if you like it. The other ones do offer more control and probably a better finished surface, but this is a really interesting wheel, especially for the price. It's a great value. I'd say of the whole bunch, this is probably the best value at 10 bucks. So check my website article or the description below, and I will have links to that on Harbor Freight's website. Now here is examples of material that was cut away with it. Now you see, compared to the Holey Galahad wheels, it has a lot more of a coarse finish because those chips are much larger. But it was able to hollow out a good chunk of material. And here's scoring without really tipping it too much, just enough to score. Here is scoring and then tipping it over to shape it. And, you know, same thing here. You can also use it on outer edges to shape like I did here. Kind of hard to see there, but you can kind of round over edges and do that kind of stuff. So given the cost, that is a great option, and you might want to check there first. The other thing that was interesting in reading the reviews, because it's carbide grit and they seem to be affixed there pretty well, I read other reviews of people using it to grind down like thin set, you know, when they remove tile and stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting, kind of multi-purpose. All right, so those were the abrasive carving wheels. Again, a couple of different options you have there. Like I said, the value is really in that Harbor Freight one if you're just starting out. In the next video here, stick around. I'm going to show you some different sanding options that really run the gamut for price and just different options available, including another really budget-friendly one that I got from Harbor Freight at the same time I got this guy. So stick around for that. Otherwise, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to help. Have a good one.